So, and eventually it works.
Can you call them out?
I'd prefer not to because they know they're going to come on the podcast.
Okay.
Is Andrew Tate one of them?
No.
You wouldn't ever?
Maybe one day.
Have you guys tried?
He was open initially. So before I even heard of Andrew Tate, like I've never heard of this guy before. And this is maybe over a year ago. Like before he really started doing any social media stuff, Jack told me to send him a DM. And I did, and he immediately got back to me. And we said like, hey, if you'd like to come on the podcast, let me know. And he responded back like almost immediately. Yeah, man, I'm down. Let me know when you're thinking. And then he responded back, I'm not sure when I'm going to be in the US, but I could keep you posted, like something like that. And I didn't think anything of it. But yeah, that was when he still had his Instagram. Like a long time ago. Yeah, maybe one day.
So you want to go to Romania for him?
I mean, it's a big trip.
Oh yeah.
It's a big trip. So at this point, you know, I'd probably rather like go to Japan and do like personal trips like that if I'm going to go to that extent. But I mean, maybe.
Okay. I saw you had his boy on, Justin Weller. So you don't have like
nice.
You don't have a moral dilemma with having like Tate on. It's nothing like that.
I would say I don't have a moral like I've listened to his videos and I think a lot of what he says is accurate. I think some of what he says is way too extreme for me. But I don't know. Like for me, I kind of pick and choose what I see in people, and I think most people have something you could learn from, even if you don't like the person. So the way I kind of approach anybody on social media, I'm like, this makes sense. This doesn't. I like this part. I don't like that part. So I'm going to use like these parts that I think are productive for me. I'm going to go with it. And then I'm going to ignore everything else. But I think too many people just see everything as like, okay, that's fact because he said this. And this applies to anybody, by the way. So I think critical thinking is something that's probably lacking in a lot of people. And they would be much better off being skeptical about everything, doing their own research, and then picking and choosing the bits and pieces that they like. I think it's the same thing. Like we've had a lot of political guests on the Iced Coffee Hour, people on the far right and people on the far left. And between both of them, there are people and points that I agree with on both sides. So I don't like it to be one or the other.
But who are you voting for?
You.
Okay. I'll take it. Who was kind of like the most impactful guest you've had on personally? Not like views wise, just they've had the biggest impact on you. Outside of myself, of course.
Outside of you, Hormozy was a really good one.
Okay.
The one who's had the biggest personal impact on me, I would say, is Healthy Gamer GG. Dr. K. He was the most insightful. He had me captivated every moment. I really resonate with what he has to say. He's very deep, very introspective. Got me thinking about a lot of things I've never thought about before. Like, I'll give you an example. We had a really great discussion off camera. And I was telling him my issues with, like, feeling uneasy, feeling anxious about things, and always try to fix things. Because my thing has always been thinking very logically. If there's a problem, there's a solution. And so because there's a solution, I'm going to spend all my time thinking about how to fix things. And he's explained that that's worked really well in my life so far, because anytime I get to a roadblock or a problem, fix it. But I've not had any experience sitting in being uncomfortable or feeling uncomfortable. And that's a muscle, he says, that I need to work on, is just accepting that there are things outside of your control that you cannot fix. And you need to learn to feel, okay with just sitting in that uncomfortableness and accepting it. And that was something I've never thought of before. I never experienced before. And he's right. I don't like if I feel uncomfortable about something, I'll immediately fix it. So I don't know how to not be uncomfortable.